No surprise.
It's funny. That's right. Happy Friday morning. It is time for the Hometown Movie Guys. Craig and Andy in the studio, and we are going to talk movies. Movies.
That's
Ready?
right. That's right.
Movies.
I like movies.
You love movies, sir.
Movies are fun.
I think you saying you like movies is it's an understatement. You review movies?
I do.
Yeah, movies are a big part of your life.
Yep.
So,
I'm thinking a lot about Buckaroo Banzai in the Ninth Dimension recently, and
really?
boy, I'd sure like to see that
Yeah,
again.
you know, I'm still upset about that because it was Buckaroo Banzai, The Adventure Begins.
Yeah, so they never made no follow-up on
Yeah,
that.
it began and ended. It was,
Yeah.
Well, and everyone listening, we're going to be talking today about movies you've heard of. And that are
Buckaroo Banzai
playing.
was good. That was a good one.
And movies that are playing at the Sawmill Theatres.
Well, that too, I
UMC.
suppose.
Something
Yes.
that came out this century.
Yeah. So where do you want to start on? One of the new movies?
Yeah, let's start with the new ones.
Okay, and is If
If.
is
That's
one of the
going
new
to be a big
movies.
one for the weekend.
And the producers of IF
IF.
would be remiss if I didn't say that the name of the movie is IF.
Oh, it's not If. It's IF.
It's IF.
Imaginary Friends.
Oh, because it stands for
Imaginary
Friends. Aha.
Including a great big purple one named Blue.
Wait, he's purple, but he's named Blue.
Yeah. Kid thing, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So-
We had an enormous Dodge van, was red, and my kids called it Old Blue. So,
there
kid
you go.
thing.
So you can relate. You can relate.
Yep.
So IF, imaginary friends. A young girl who goes through a difficult experience begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who have been left behind as their real life friends have grown up. Wow.
And it's one of those cool ones where they're doing live action. So you got Ryan Reynolds in it, of course, and then of course the imaginary characters are CGI.
Mm-hmm. Wow, and Louis Gossett Jr., Steve Carell, John Krasinski.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some of these people that you just mentioned will appear in the flesh.
Uh-huh.
Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, briefly, and Fiona Shaw. All are, and the girl is named Kylie Fleming. They will appear in the flesh. But let me just run down the list, the partial list of famous names that are making the voices. Awkwafina.
You like saying her name.
I do, and she's a
Enjoy
New
that.
Yorker, and to have somebody named Awkwafina coming from New York is fun, just fun for me. Emily Blunt, and by the way, this means that Blunt will be in 2 movies at the Sawmill Theatre simultaneously.
Busy gal.
And that happens every once in a while, but it's always worthy of note. George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Halder, Kagan Michael Key, which if you have kids in the last 20 years, you'll know who he is.
Oh, yeah?
Blake Lively, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph from Bridesmaids, Amy Schumer, who is unaccountably still has a career, Jon Stewart, and Brad Pitt.
Boy.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Vince Vaughn.
Oh, Vince Vaughn's in there
Vince
too?
Vaughn as well. Richard Jenkins.
Easier to say who's not in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who isn't in it? Wow. That is very impressive.
Yeah, and for as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason in the world to put famous actors in. George Clooney in a he's a big deal. Brad Pitt is a big deal, and to put them in a movie like this gets you nothing. There's no advantage to the producers. They just do it because it's fun to make movies with your friends.
Wow. So, so far the audience reviews on this have been good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's a PG film.
Yeah.
PG, it's going to be a good one for, of course, for the kids, but it looks like it's, a little bit more, so adults too, parents can come and bring their kids and they're going to enjoy it also.
Yeah, and I always encourage the grandmas and grandpas to try to guess the voices. When you see, like, ooh, there's a big purple thing there named Blue. Who is that? Who is that? Yeah.
And,
So I won't tell. I won't
yeah.
tell. You have to go to the movies and guess.
Who is Marshmallow? There's a character Marshmallow.
That's right.
In here.
And
So-
Butterfly.
And Butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely looks like a fun movie.
There's a part in the trailer with the Marshmallow guy that's pretty funny.
Who else? Some of the other Cal, Blue, Blue, Octocat,
Octocat.
Octocat,
Yeah.
Octopus, Sunny,
Not to
Ice.
be confused with Octocat.
Yeah. And did you mention Bradley Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it is crazy. Can't keep track of all the stars.
We're in summertime now too, so this is going to be the first of the kids' movies, and we got Inside Out here in a couple of weeks, and then a couple of weeks after that, Despicable Me.
Yay. I love the Despicable movies.
There we go. So if, again, rated PG and showtimes on that, 1, 4, and 7 are the
That's it.
showtimes on If.
Okay, and this was written by John Krasinski and directed by John Krasinski and produced by
Let me guess.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
And one of the actors in the movie playing the little girl's ailing father is John Krasinski.
Wow.
John Krasinski married to Emily Blunt,
Mhm.
and both of them are, they're doing things right now. We got a Quiet Place. New Quiet Place came,
Coming.
yeah, at the end of the month.
Wow.
And neither one of them are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's directing, yes. Krasinski.
No.
Oh, he's not directed either. Oh, he stepped
Yeah.
back.
I think he's
Or
probably
just producing,
it.
I think when you mentioned actors that were in a couple movies that are showing at the same time, I think of last year Channing Tatum with Dog, and the one with what was it, like Paradise or something, where Brad Pitt's in it and he
Right,
has that
yeah.
line you loved
Yeah.
in the movie.
Paradise City, or?
Paradise City. Yeah,
Yeah.
Paradise City and
Yeah.
Dog.
Why are you so handsome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the punchline?
My father was a weatherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, yeah, it just got, you sat there like, huh? Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun movie. I like that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So,
And Emily Blunt is also in, currently at the theater in
All guy.
Fall Guy.
Yeah, the
That's
Fall
right.
Guy.
Fall Guy. So, I think one other new movie, right, starting today?
Yes.
The Strangers, Chapter 1. Oh, well, tell us about this one,
Well,
Andy.
just I know this is gonna be a novel idea for you,
Mm-hmm.
but a young couple ends up in unexpectedly in a cabin in the woods, and some really bad stuff goes down. And
Oh.
these guys are like geniuses to come up with a concept like that.
Well, this is chapter 1, The Strangers Chapter 1. There's
Uh-huh.
going to be 3 of these. And I believe they filmed all 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah,
Wow.
I read a interview with the director, whose name escapes me at the moment. He's not a famous director. And he said it was very confusing because we do a scene from number 1, and then we do a scene from number 3, and then we go back and we do one from number 2. And I'll tell you, our wardrobe and continuity people really had to be on their toes, and I'm sure that's true.
Yes.
You have a guy with a red shirt in number 3, but he's wearing a white shirt in number 2. You can't
Yeah.
get them mixed up, so the public will notice.
And yeah, there must not be a lot of lines in this movie, I'd imagine, because if you were filming 3 movies almost simultaneously to try and remember all the lines,
Oh, actors are phenomenal. They have great memories.
Plus in the, I would say this is a horror mystery thriller. Usually lines aren't that extensive, you know.
Screaming.
Screaming. Yeah.
Running.
What was that noise? Did you hear that?
Here, let's hide behind these chainsaws.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll never find us here.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. So this one, yeah, Strangers Chapter 1 is rated R. Again, horror movie, and showtime's 1:15, 4:15, 7:15. And you have to say, did you mention their car breaks down? That's why they're at that cabin, because their car broke down.
Oh.
They didn't okay.
Yeah,
decide to go to a cabin in an eerie small town.
in Oregon.
Yeah, but their car broke down. So, yeah. That's
So anyway,
my movie.
we love horror movies because they're reliable. They're going to make you have that adrenaline rush when you have fear, and sometimes they have interesting ways of dispatching the victims as well.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, three masked strangers who strike with no mercy and seemingly no motive. So
I
they're
wonder what
just,
their motive was.
I don't think they have a motive, Andy. They're just masked strangers wreaking havoc out there at this cabin in a small eerie town.
Let's not make it too complicated.
Yeah, or in the
They don't
eerie
need
small
those
town.
stinking motives.
No.
These things do great.
Yeah.
These horror films, we talk
Yep.
about it many times, where they can put in a low budget, they make these things for $10, $20 million.
And this one only for 8.5 million.
Wow, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it'll do that this weekend, and
8.5
then
million.
And then
everything else is
Yep.
gravy.
Gravy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
we have another horror movie too that we'll talk about after a while, but we have a monkey movie as well.
Hey, yes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
The monkey movie.
The monkey
It's a
movie.
number one picture in America.
Wow, all right.
Yeah.
And how has this one been doing?
It's been done really good, really good. This is,
Nice.
everyone's really enjoyed this movie.
Mm.
Yeah, we kind of started out, usually they want to go with, that early May date, Fall Guy, to kind of kick everything off. And Fall Guy did all right, but it just didn't really hit the numbers that they were hoping for. But Kingdom of the Apes has done that. That's really kind of started out the season.
I have enjoyed all of these Planet of the Apes movies, especially I think it's this series. The Mark Wahlberg, the one he did was all right, but these I thought have been really good.
Well, they've done a good job with these. And
Yeah.
This was, this is Disney taking over now. These were Fox films, before Disney bought out Fox.
Yeah, so this one, critic reviews on this 81%, so they say 81, audience 79, so
Right in
solid. Yeah, and yeah, this one PG-13, two and a half hours. So
Yeah,
two
yeah.
It's a
hours,
nice
25
long
minutes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
and
seen?
I certainly have. I saw it last Friday.
All right.
And because it was a 2.5 hour movie, I made sure that I had the extra gigantic box of popcorn.
There you go.
I needed that to sustain me. And for my money, this is the best Planet of the Apes movie ever.
Wow.
Gave it 5 saw blades.
Wow. All right.
So I mean,
Wow.
I really thought it was a good one. And one of the things that I appreciated about it, kind of artistically, is there's one really prime human character in the movie, and she doesn't say a word until about halfway through the movie, and then even after that, she doesn't speak very much, and she has to do all of her the major part of her acting with body language. And that corresponds to what the apes are doing, because chimpanzees don't have the facial musculature that humans do. Humans have very expressive faces.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And monkeys don't. But they made their emotional wishes apparent to the people that are watching the movie, primarily from eye gestures.
Okay.
So it's a really kind of brilliant film making from that perspective. And the CGIs are just magnificent. I mean, you really can't tell that they're not really talking monkeys.
Wow.
They look like talking monkeys, and they act like talking monkeys. And the CGI is so good that it seems to the people in the audience that they really are talking orangutans and chimpanzees.
Wow.
And very, very scary gorillas. Yeah. The gorillas are the top of the heap because
Yeah.
they can just smash anybody else.
Silverbacks.
Right, Nick's right.
Yeah. And in this movie, not a lot of real big names in this as far as the cast goes. An actor that I think you see in a lot of movies that always does a great job, William H. Macy.
Yep.
He is...
Shameless.
Yeah, he's just good, so good.
Yeah, he's really an excellent actor. He has a very small role in this, but he naturally, since he is who he is, he really hits his marks.
Wow.
He plays a kind of a cowardly bad guy who's in league with the gorilla general.
A weasel. Plays like a weaselly guy?
Yes. Yeah, and he really does it well.
You know, and
they really set. I'm not going to give anything away, but they set the plot up so when you leave the theater, you're looking forward to seeing the next one in line, and it will be out in a couple of years, I suppose.
Yep. And the one, I guess it was the last one, War for the Planet of the Apes, and with Woody Harrelson in that one. Oh, that was such a good one. Really. So, up until this point, which one was your favorite? And it's hard because the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the first one with
the battle on the Golden Gate Bridge between the humans and the apes.
Yes.
That was just a spectacular moment in movie history for me. And you know, even now, after 50 years or however long it's been, the Charlton Heston first one, and you have the iconic symbol of the Statue of Liberty
on the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah, that was 68, so that
a long time
was
ago.
56 years ago. Wow. 56 years ago.
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. That's like,
You can still quote lines from the movie after that length of time.
Yeah.
By golly.
Iconic.
Yes, yeah, very much.
Yeah.
They said it, and they've done, sometimes sequels are not always successful. You know, this is one they've definitely kind of taken that franchise and made it very successful.
And you can tell that they did not take this movie lightly. They really put their heart and soul into making the best movie that they possibly could, and it shows. When you can tell when they kind of phone it in, you know, and you see that sometimes. But not this one. This one was something.
Yeah, and I just wanted to...
It's just fun to watch too.
Yeah.
See the chimpanzees riding on horses. It's just a kick.
And so far, yeah, all of these, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, got great ratings, 91 from the critics and 88, you know, from audience. And then War of the Planet of the Apes, 94 and 84, so that one. So all of these in the series have had solid reviews. You know, just been great. So
and this one chronologically takes place many generations after the last one. So it isn't, you know, the three most recent ones are kind of chronologically back to back. When one stops, then the next, it's almost that close together. But this one, there's a gap of a couple of 100 years maybe.
Well, and something interesting, because you mentioned this, how what movies, the second and third movies in a series, usually do not do as well. With this series, though, this is interesting. With each movie, the reviews got better. Got better. So, Rise of the Planet of the Apes starts out, and the reviews are, critics 82, audience 77. Then the next one, Dawn, critics 91, audience in the 80s. And then Fight, Battle for the Planet of the Apes, the last one, the critics 94 and the audience 91. So it's interesting. I don't know, it would be interesting to look at different series and to see if each new one gets better reviews than the previous.
There's just a handful of movies where the prequel is better than the original.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen a whole lot. Generally, movies tend to decline, not get better.
And get more expensive to make.
Yeah.
Because they think anyway that they have to throw in, more sex and blood or better special effects or higher priced movie stars.
And what's interesting, going back to what you said, Andy, you thought this was the best one. You feel this one is the best one out of all of them.
I think so, yeah.
Wow. I'm anxious to see these ratings and see where they end up.
I just hope they make some money so they can make a new one.
Yeah.
It's done really good at the theater. We're having good crowds there too.
Nice. So again, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, rated PG-13, and showtimes 12:30, 3:45, and 7 for that one. And The Fall Guy still in theaters.
Still going.
And
that one probably coming to a close here.
Coming to a close.
Fairly soon. It came out May 3rd, I think.
And how you said nationally, this one?
Not as good as they were expecting. I think going into this, it was going to be a huge release, and it hasn't done terrible, but it didn't really do the
numbers they were hoping for.
The blockbuster numbers they were hoping.
Yeah.
It's a good film. It's a comedy, action, romance. Kind of got a little bit of everything. Emily Blunt in there.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Great cast and everything. A good story. Like I said, it's just done okay. Kind of a. I know Hollywood's not real happy with the numbers, but.
And it's a great movie, and if this is going to be the last week, I'd encourage people to get out there and go see this one. It's really fun. It's a lighthearted sort of a thing. But solidly made, great stars, and there's a genuine chemistry between Blunt and Gosling that I didn't really expect. Because she's like married to some other guy.
Yeah, and I think both are just really solid actors.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah,
Kind of top of their game right now.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, and this one, good reviews, solid reviews from the audience and critics.
Sometimes it happens. You just have these movies that, for whatever reason, someday too. It's as you're going into the season. People are, movies aren't so. Generally in the spring and stuff, you don't have big movies. They kind of drop off there a little bit before the summertime.
Yeah.
People don't really get into it right away.
Yeah, and the numbers to produce this or to make this movie, what did you?
$140 million to make it, 108 at the box office. So a little light on the box office, but a movie that I think is better than is reflected in the ticket numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I'm reading here, it says in the first week brought in less than 30 million in the first week. So that when you have a $140 million film, really hoping for more than 30 million in the first week there.
I think Apes did 50, 60 million.
Oh.
Its opening weekend in comparison.
Wow.
If it's supposed to be 30 to 40 for this
30, 40.
weekend.
So Apes, do you have what their budget?
160 and 145. 160 million to make it, which
It's good.
that's a lot, but it's not anything like the top where they go.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think they kept some degree of control on their budget for that.
Mhm.
And 145 in 6 days, or 7
Wow.
days, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all. I think they're
Mhm.
gonna do just fine.
Well, a movie that did very well, Unsung Hero. Unsung Hero.
That's another one, probably its last week.
Okay.
But yeah, no, this is the faith film
Mm-hmm.
genre. It is, I mean, Andy, we were talking about a little bit before we came in too, that these are really kind of having their time right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As they're increasing in popularity and you know, box office numbers too.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you guess the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for Unsung Hero?
It's gonna be the 90s, I guess, 91.
91?
I'll say 81.
99.
Oh,
99.
you don't see that very often.
No, that's
Oh,
like
man.
the Maverick,
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick rating, you know, for audience
Wowzers.
score. Yeah, so audiences just love this
Well,
movie.
that's reflecting, you know, I think, you know, nationally audiences are looking for something a little more,
Positive.
yeah, wholesome.
Wholesome, with hope,
Yes,
and
yeah.
positive message.
And
Yes.
this is about a family, a guy and his wife, and he has 6 kids that
Mhm.
moved to the States from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have a really hard time getting their feet under them. And that's kind of what the story's about. And a wonderful thing, from my perspective, is out of the 6 kids, 3 of them are featured in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
including ones that play their parents,
Mm.
or their dad anyway.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're seeing that, you know, this is, you know, some Angel Studio stuff, and you know, last year we had Sound of Freedom,
Mhm.
that came out on 4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, that's a major release date, so to see these films coming out on those major dates is something new too.
Yeah.
Next week we have Sight coming
Okay.
out, another Angel Studio film, and then
Mhm.
4th of July, another Angel film coming out, so.
Wow, on the
they're-
4th?
On the 4th and on Memorial Day, so they're getting these big dates, and
Wow.
these movies are starting to make more and more money.
Yep. And Unsung Hero, a tiny $6 million to make,
Yep.
and 18 million at the box office. So
Wow.
they are happy, and their family name is Smallbone.
Mm.
And so I think the family is happy because almost everybody is in the movie in some respect or another,
Mhm.
either on screen or behind the cameras.
Wow. And Unsung Hero, rated PG, 12:30, 3:30, 6:30 showtimes. And again, this is probably the last week
Probably last
for it.
week, yeah.
So if you haven't seen that, you want to get in and see that. Yeah.
Good wholesome movie.
Mhm.
And these do, you know, they do, you know, they do okay nationally, but here in Payson, they do much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good-
Yeah,
good
'cause
Payson
we-
movie.
Yeah, because in Payson, we like good movies, wholesome movies that are positive, that
We have more
make you
churches
feel
than
good.
bars.
There you go.
Tilted towards our demographic.
Yeah. And last movie showing is the other horror film you were speaking of, Andy, Tarot.
Yeah.
Rated PG-13, so this one isn't rated R, it is rated PG-13. Showtime's 1:30, 4:30, 7:30. And this one, how has this been doing? Greg?
Done okay. Yeah,
It's done all right?
It's always kind of a weird thing with Payson. Sometimes these horror films almost have to be over the top. I mean, if they're, you know, R-rated, full-on slasher films, sometimes those do pretty good up here.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that are just kind of a, you know,
Mm,
run
yeah.
of the mill, Evil Dead. You know, Evil Dead last year did great here in Payson, which is just
Mhm.
seems weird. They
Mhm.
don't normally do that, but it was a hardcore rated R with a
Yeah.
cheese grater scene, and
Well-
but people come to see that.
Yeah, or people might have checked out Rotten Tomatoes and then maybe stayed away from this one for that reason.
Nationally,
Yeah.
8 million to make it and 21 at the box office. So,
Wow.
Yeah, so they're,
Yeah.
whatever the critics think about this one, the people that like horror movies went out to see
Well,
it.
the audience rating on this one? What'd you guess?
Oh, audience rating.
Yeah.
I like that look on your face.
Yeah.
38?
Uh,
I'm sticking to 81.
56.
Oh,
So somewhere right in the middle, you guys. Yeah, so, I mean, the critics were down at 20, but the audience was 6.
So you kind of had a painful look on your face. And
I
like,
did. It's like, oh.
10?
But
boy.
this is an innovative horror movie idea, though. It's a bunch of kids, or young people, I guess, sitting around, and they're playing with a tarot deck. And they're just messing around, you know, they're not taking it too seriously. But they don't realize that it's been cursed.
It's a cursed tarot deck.
Oh my God! So
Yeah.
then the people that are in the game end up being killed in bizarre ways.
Yeah.
So yay!
There's a lesson in this, kids, and everyone listening.
Oh,
watching.
absolutely.
Stay away from the tarot cards.
It goes way back
because-
to a witchboard.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s,
Yep.
Tawny Katan, same thing. I got a Ouija board and they start
Yeah.
messing with it. And
Sure.
Yeah, you know, it's not worth it, because, hey, you could get the cursed one, and game over.
Yeah.
Not good.
they've done a lot. Talk to Me just came out too.
Mm.
You get to see that one, but it's a cursed hand. They got this
Yeah.
creepy hand, but yeah, you end up being possessed. But
Yeah.
you know, like you said, they don't do a ton of money, but they don't take a ton of money
Yeah.
to make. And
Yeah.
like you said, we're seeing a steady stream of these.
And what's crazy
And,
is,
and you know what happens when
Yeah.
you don't pay your exorcist?
oh gosh, yeah, bad things. I would
You
imagine.
get repossessed.
Oh my gosh, oh boy. So, gosh. So yeah, it's with the movies, like you said, the ratings, and it gets me, and it's mainly with like the horror films, like you're saying, where the audience ratings, critics can be like super low, it's horrible, but then you look at the numbers and 5, 6, 7 million, 8 million to make,
Yeah.
and it brings in 20, 30 million.
If
So
if you're 17 and you're taking a girl on a first date, yeah, might as well go to a
yeah,
horror
because,
movie.
yeah, because she'll snuggle up and close to you.
Well,
It's
hopefully.
like, yeah.
At least hold hands.
Yeah. Well, hey, also, you know, Sawmill Theatres open 7 days a week now.
Oh yes, yeah, we're open 7 days a week. Oh, a couple things, yeah,
7
7 days a week, and
Mhm.
discount Tuesdays now.
Discount Tuesdays.
Discount Tuesdays, $5 matinees,
Huh.
and after 6 o'clock, $8.
Mm.
So just $5 to get into a matinee
Wow.
on Tuesdays.
So, yeah, and, yeah, the 7 days, so, make sure, yeah, you check out, and, some big ones coming up, the Furiosa.
Yeah,
coming
Memorial Day
up,
weekend.
Memorial Day
Furiosa,
weekend, next weekend.
Garfield.
Garfield as well.
And then Sight,
Sight.
their Angel Studios one.
Yep.
That's just it's an inspirational story.
Mhm.
They actually, oh, really, yeah, they sort of in Asia somewhere, but they, apparently if you have your kids out begging, they get more money if they're really blind.
Mm-hmm.
So mom pours acid in her girl's eyeballs to,
Oh, boy.
and so that's the bad part. But then this guy is an ophthalmologist who
Oh.
comes over to America, and
Yeah.
they get together here, and he actually restores her eyesight.
There we go.
So that's the
End
inspiration
on the
part of
happy
it.
note
Yes.
there, because, yeah, they don't want to end with, you know, mom pouring acid on her daughter's eyeballs.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, no, don't want to end on that, because her sight is restored. That's
Yes.
there you go. So, sounds like another good movie. There it is. Well, hey, thank you guys. Thank you, Hometown Movie Guys, and thank you, Sawmill Theatres. Thank you, everyone, for listening, watching. Time to get back to the music with some John Fogerty, Janis Joplin, Bonnie Tyler, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from our National Weather Service, and you guys have a great weekend.
Hey.
Hey, did,
Political fans were fixing it, so we're gonna get rid of something.
That's